Montana State guards.
The team that was picked to win the Big Sky this year starts with the first possession and that turnover right out of the gate. The Montana State Bobcats, back-to-back defending champions. Walker inside for the first two. He had a season at UT Arlington, was coming through with the starting spot by the end of the year.
Walker's a guy that kind of flies under the radar a little bit for the Bobcats, but he's the 10th leading scorer in the league and third in field goal percentage.
Dylan Jones, unanimous MVP pick before the season, goes outside for Kohler, who hits the three. Dyson Kohler had a weekend he couldn't miss against Montana State. That helped them to their win in the series.
Well, that's a great start for the Wildcats. Dyson Kohler has been so hot and cold, it seems, throughout the course of the conference season. Didn't score a point. 0 for 3 and 0 for 2 in their game a week ago.
For the Montana State Bobcats, they have won 5 of the last 7 against Weber State. The Wildcats, in those 5 losses, 26% from 3. In those victories, 42% from the outside.
Well, that's the story of Weber State's season, Tony. When they shoot it in, they are really good. When they don't shoot it in, not so much.
Here comes Robert Ford III. A guy that offensively didn't have explosiveness last year, but hit the timely threes. It has been a different story for him from the outside. He has been exceptional in this year. Here's Goracke.
Blaze Street doing everything he can to keep the ball out of Robert Ford III's hands once he gives it up.
Walker spinning in the lane. What a takeaway by Robert Ford III. He's the best defensively for a reason, but they can't cash in.
Robert Ford III, unbelievable in any league to have a guy third in the league that is listed at 6 foot, Tony, and I'd bet my mother-in-law's car keys he ain't even close to 6 foot.
Kohler almost got another one. Well, you can see the light is green for him today, wasting no time. Robert Ford III answers a crispy three-piece and a 5-3 Bobcat lead.
Robert Ford III, the 5th leading scorer in the league, averaging 15.3, and he has just had a terrific senior year.
Verplanken answers on the other end. Steven Verplanken, all Big Sky last year, all Big Sky this year.
If they can keep he and Kohler on point shooting it in from 3, boy, they're hard to handle then. If they can just get one of them going, they're pretty good. It's when those nights they have both of them, Kohler and Verplanken, not shoot it well, is when they struggle.
Goracke to the post to Walker. Great big man battle tonight with Walker and Chu. Blocked by Alex Chu. Dylan Jones trying to draw the foul here. They're going to give it to him, and we have seen that move by Dylan Jones officiated differently.
Did not want to give that to Dylan Jones, and he has perfected that move throughout the course of the season, but you could tell the trail official kind of shook his head, but he gave it to him.
Verplanken misses left, has to get up and hurry back. Patterson has been dangerous against this team. The loose ball is grabbed by Turner. Ford steps inside. Can't hit the midi. Fast action. High pace here so far. Alex Chu, more of a defensive player. Drop step, can't get it. Blaze 3, the putback. Scored in double figures in both meetings.
Ironically, Blaze Street, for a point guard, is the 2nd leading offensive rebounder on this Wildcat team. Great size for a point guard in this league, 6'3", 200 pounds. You can just tell part of the Wildcats' defensive game plan, keep the ball out of Robert Ford III's hands.
Eddie Turner III, the Ivy Leaguer who spent 4 years at Columbia, cuts it to 8-7. What a great addition he has been to this program.
The Bobcats' leading scorer, Robert Ford III, has really not scored well against the Wildcats. Only 4 in their game in Ogden. He did have 12 the other night, but that's only an 8-point average when he's averaging 15.
Chu tries to keep the offensive possession alive. Walker denies it. Eddie Turner III, who worked on Wall Street during this past summer, goes outside. Patterson short on his first three-point attempt.
And that's where Patterson can hurt you. Out off a dribble penetration when you lose him on the perimeter or in transition. 6'8" kid with a great jump shot can really ring it up if you lose him out there.
Alex Chu, deep inside. What a steal, or at least a takeaway for a moment by Ford, and the block from behind by Goracke. Chu through his hands, and that is why Montana State has been
divisional head coach, but he's 13th overall, and all he's done in those 13 years as a head coach, or 12 previous years as a head coach, is win 20 games 11 times. You know, as they say back home, that ain't love, but it ain't bad, brother. 20-win season. He has done an outstanding job this year.
Takeaway, Dylan Jones, an exceptional defensive player. And here goes KJ Cunningham with the floater. And on the rebound, it's Lekalot. Bodies on the deck. That's going to happen a lot tonight when these two teams get together. Robert Ford III. That step back baseline. Jay.
What a tough shot. And KJ Cunningham had someone land on him. There, a Bobcat on that rebound, and kind of banged up a little bit. That was a great shot by Robert Ford. Holy mackerel.
For Montana State, they replaced a Defensive Player of the Year. They had an MVP candidate, 2 first-team guys. I mean, they had a lot going on with a deep roster and an explosive roster. They beat every single team remaining in this tournament except one. Dylan Jones, his first hit.
Dylan Jones, his first shot, first basket.
And the only team the Bobcats have not beaten, the Montana Grizzlies. And you know that's the one that means the most.
Yeah, we'll have them next.
There goes Ford. Step back, just long. Lekalot got a hand on it. Dylan Jones the board. Martiainen in the game for the first time. Has it stripped for the loose ball. Here come the Bobcats. No numbers. Trying to find rhythm here in this possession. Patterson in the corner. Ford bumped on the sideline. First foul for Jones.
I really like the way Robert Ford there knows his teammate and his strengths.
Olmstead, who's had a recent week to remember forever, goes to Patterson. Olmstead will now go to Turner. Turner backs up, hand in the face, 3 is long. Rebound Olmstead. Tap by Kohler. 3 the loose ball. Well, you see the deflections and the intensity defensively.
Active hands, a lot of activity on the defensive end, and the referees are letting them play a little bit too, Tony.
11-9 early on. Weber State in the lead. There goes Jones to the left. And Jordan for 3. No, Kohler, the putback jam.
How about Dyson Kohler, who really struggled down the stretch this year, doing something hard to get something easy, just crashing the offensive glass from the perimeter.
The play was there, but a turnover as Turner was trying to go for Olmstead.
Remember, one of my keys to the game for Montana State was limit turnovers. They can't afford to have a whole lot of empty possessions like that. When I made the statement in their keys to the game, they don't have a big margin for error, but a whole lot of teams don't have a big margin for error. They need to really hang on to the basketball.
Jones putting the moves here on Lekalot. Room service tray layup. As he holds it out and gets it to go. 13-9.
Dylan Jones conducting
adult
education classes on Lekalot there.
Ford with the response.
And the stars are stars tonight so far.
Ford already with 7 points. 7 of the 11. He had a great start scoring in that battle last Monday night. Louis Jordan has hit just 1 2-point basket the entire year. That was Monday. Kohler misfires on this 3, and Jed Miller in the game.
Good shot for Kohler. I thought he had his feet set and was on balance.
Jed Miller. No. Plays 3, skies in for the board. You can just feel it every possession. Everybody is emptying the tank here in the early going. Three took an extra step. They had a 22-4 first half run. Dominated on the board. Straight on three. Good. A nice hit by Goracke. As Goracke was the guy that had 13 in the win over Weber State. He was 2 for 10 in the loss. The answer, no. But a trip to the free throw line.
That was a nice play coming out of that timeout by Matt Logie. Goracke gets the ball, gives it up, makes a little high post, and then turns and comes back off. Goracke's a big kid, Tony. He's 6'6", 210 pounds. He was guarded by DJ Cunningham, who it's good to see back in the game. We thought DJ might have been hurt, and Goracke caught it, got those feet set, and boy, he dropped that one like third period calculus, brother.
Yeah. Well, I dropped third period calculus.
A couple times, as I recall.
Oh, yeah. You get the letters involved. I'm not the same.
Dylan Jones now with 7. He and Robert Ford, the third, the two first team, all Big Sky guys, are showing everyone why early on in this game.
And a foul is called on Cunningham. Assist and 200 steals. Unbelievable career. Robert Ford III has had a tremendous year. He'll step back, and an offensive foul is called on Ford.
Well, that's one way to create space on the step back is use your forearm to push the guy in front of you. That looked like Michael Jordan against the Jazz in Game 6 back a few years ago.
You still haven't let that go, have you? It's been a long time, but oh, is it not forgotten by so many. Jones outside, Cunningham. Wow. Off to the right, wild miss, but Chu the O-board. Verplanken slicing through with the right hand and makes it a 19-14 lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure Steven Verplanken could have done that last year. He was mostly a shooter. He always played hard, but he didn't have much of a dribble drive game. That time he was put his head down and got right to the basket.
Dyson Kohler the takeaway. This ultimate star role player, as you call him. Chu deep inside.
Great
Weber
ball
State
movement.
has their biggest lead of 7.
Great ball movement there from Kohler to DJ Cunningham. Almost a touch pass to Chu, and the Wildcats are on point right now, Tony.
Since the Goracke 3, Weber State a 6-0 run. Walker to work against Chu, and Chu stands him up. Bumps are not fouls tonight below that free throw line, Coach.
Well,
and an off.
League, not because of all of his blocked shots, because of his great footwork at that size, his ball screen defense, and he was rewarded for that by being a member of the Big Sky all defensive team this year.
Inside for Chu, takeaway Lekalot.
Boy, you won't see that very often. Dylan Jones not putting one right on a point for Chu. He threw that a little bit long.
Eddie Turner III, who played for Brandon Roy in high school. It's the turnaround, 21-16.
Eddie Turner's had a nice year. He has battled injuries his whole college year. This is probably the healthiest he's been in his entire college career.
Olmstead comes down with the rebound. Turner goes back to Olmstead. Jones there to guard him. Nice cut, Goracke, and he's fouled on the dunk attempt.
Little breakdown in transition defense, and Dylan Jones got back and picked up Olmstead. And congratulations, by the way, the Bengals for their win last night. But Matt Logie replaced him at Point Loma and then came into the Big Sky 5 years later.
The one thing he doesn't get enough credit for is his ability to help build that team at Lehigh that upset Duke in the NCAA tournament in a 15-2 matchup. He recruited C.J. McCollum. There's a big part of that. He's brought his winning culture to Montana State, who already had a winning culture but just lost a lot of firepower. 3. Stops on the block. Cunningham with the clock winding down. Nails it!
How about that?
Mr. Wildcat, correctly termed for his commitment to the program and the number of games.
His school record 139th game tonight, and he has just had an outstanding career. Not that he's been a superstar. He's been a superstar teammate and a superstar member of the team.
Goracke couldn't get the bounce. The loose ball foul is on Chu.
And there is Alex Chu's liability.
In a row, then losing 5 out of 6, then won 6 in a row, and at their best, look out, not at their best, look away.
No, they've had a really odd year, up and down, up and down. After they'd won 6 in a row, they lost 3 out of 4, all by 1 basket. But boy, they started looking over their shoulder. It really shook their confidence, I thought, Tony. And I thought Eric Duff did a great job kind of getting them all back on the same page.
Blaze 3, who scored in double figures both of these meetings, gets inside, dumps it off. KJ Cunningham, the ultimate team guy.
Nice penetration by 3. And as I always said, if you're on defense, you let the ball get dribbled into the paint, something bad is going to happen for you.
Turner couldn't get the touch shot. Blaze 3 comes down with another one.
3 playing with great energy tonight.
Louis Jordan straight away for 3, claims it to the right. And Louis Jordan now 0 for his last 13 from the outside.
Weber State coming out of that time out with 4 of 10 from the three-point line, which is good news for them. They went 4 of 17 against this same team a week ago. Both teams gone a little bit cool here at the end.
2 for 9 from distance. Montana State 28 three-point makes the last 2 games. They didn't do that all year against Division I teams in a 2-game span.
Eric Duff feels like his team has to have 8 made threes to be successful. We're halfway there.
Kohler got his own through 3 players, and the possession arrow will go to Montana State. But Montana State shooting from distance, it's come along in the recent games. They only had 2 games with 10 or more threes made in the entire conference season before those 2 games in March.
Well, it's amazing that they've had the year they had. They've won the last 2 conference tournaments and lost a whole bunch of folks, really good players off those teams. Matt Logie has done a nice job kind of rebuilding, if you want to use that term, this program.
Well, both teams with looks, both teams with chance, but they gave up a 21-2 run and had an 8-point lead there in that second half, and it turned on them in a hurry.
Well, it seems like for Weber State, Tony, if I made this statement before, when they make them in bunches. When they miss them in bunches as well. Louis Jordan having an awful hard time, and that's his calling card, shooting it in from 3, 0 for 3 tonight.
Weber State has missed their last 4. The Bobcats have gone now over 3 minutes without scoring. They're looking to end that on this possession. Goracke goes to Lekalot. Give and go. Nice pass. Great touch, Goracke.
Second great cut by Goracke this half, and that's not a set play. That is just instincts there. Goracke, great basketball in
season, coach. He had back-to-back double-digit scoring games for the first time in a month, and they needed that.
Well, he got off to a hot start for him and then kind of cooled off, it seems like, toward the end of the season or middle to the end of the season. But he's an outstanding player. Wildcats very uncharacteristically turn it over 8 first game. It may be a little bit of first tournament game jitters, but they've played a lot. They only had 9 turnovers in the whole game a week ago against Montana State over in Bozeman.
Lekalot backing down on Verplanken. Here comes Turner against Kohler. Robert for the third, into the trees, has it blocked, collected, and put back in by Lekalot. The 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Wyoming has cut it to a 4-point game.
Sam Lekalot, 6.3 rebounds last week. He is a big key for the Bobcats coming off the bench. Big, strong body. Been around a little bit now. He's a junior, played a lot of games for the Bobcats.
Jones whips it underneath. Beautiful pass to Blaze 3. And Jones does it all.
Second all-time in Weber State in assists and led the league in assists. 6'6", 235 pounds. He's as good a passer as any point guard you're going to see.
Lekalot open and nails the 3 to between the games, after every game, interviews, highlights, analysis, and more. Just fabulous work by the entire crew all week long.
They do, in fact, do a terrific job.
Dylan Jones, so far in this game, with 7. Has it out on the right side. Stephen Verplanken steps back but goes to Kohler. Patient possession for the Wildcats here, but they have 10. Jones going to work on Turner. Throws to the corner. Vartiainen nails a three. Vartiainen, 46% the last month from the outside.
And that's where Dylan Jones is so effective. He gets that big body in the paint, and he is, again, just like a point guard. He finds the open guy. Uncharacteristically, he's got 5 turnovers here in this half, but that was not one of them. He put that right on the money to the freshman, Vartiainen.
Kohler, a deflection. Loose ball, it's 4. They didn't change possession, so the clock is down to 3. Patterson, a great look. What a rebound by Lekelot, and the takeaway by 3. Well, in this game tonight, Coach, you talked about the turnovers. If you're going to play in Starch Madness, especially in this matchup, you better take care of the tater.
Boy,
Vartiainen across the paint.
I got nothing to say about that, Tony. You've been saving that one, haven't you? We'll use that again later. Starch Madness for shooter. But there's been times where, boy, he's had games where he's like 0 for 4, 0 for 5. And that one went up there like a brick for a guy who has such a nice touch. Tyson Kohler, 2 made 3 so far. Hopefully he can get back on track a little bit.
Loose ball, and Patterson collects. Robert for the third. Guarded tightly by Blaze 3. So the clock at 5. Goracke running out of time. Fades away. Shot clock violation.
Very nice possession, half-court defense there in between. You have a tendency to start reaching and maybe get a silly foul. Dylan Jones, the veteran player of the year in the league, just stayed down, and made it tough on Goracke.
Under 2 minutes left here in the first half. A great battle tonight between 2 teams who have played in each of the last 2 Big Sky Conference tournaments. The Bobcats winning both of them on their way to taking the championship. Jones bursts to speed. He has 9, and the lead is up to 9. Their biggest of the game.
When Dylan Jones gets that shoulder lower than his defensive shoulder with that big body, 235 pounds, he's got you locked up then, brother. I tell you, you might as well be trying to baptize a Bobcat to get him stopped at that point.
I don't know if any Montana State fans have tried that, but if there's a fan group that might,
it might be
their
them.
team. Goracke to the high post, it's Lekelot.
Nice.
Goracke short, the loose ball, and it's Blaze 3 again.
Nice job by Blaze 3 there. Kind of a jump switch, got a hand up as Goracke came off of that ball screen. There, that was a small, easy switch ball screen.
Blaze 3 has 6 rebounds in this game.
I said he's a big, strong point guard here in the Big Sky. 6'6", 200 pounds. His dad, of course, Sedell Threath, a long turnovers a game. This may be the most in a half for them this year. I don't know for sure about that, but what's a bunch.
The Wildcats number 1 in turnover margin. The Bobcats number 1 in steals, number 1 in takeaways, all together. That's what they do. The pull-up, Turner, in and out. And Turner tonight 2 of 6.
Another rebound for 3.
Weber State to play for the final shot here of the half. They'll call timeout. Every possession matters. And when you get in this elimination game, Weber State
game. So
this is why Coach Duff coaches.
Yes, and I sit over here with you. Like I said, I don't know what they're going to run, but I guarantee you Dylan Jones is going to have the ball in his hands. Look for him, obviously, to dance around, penetrate. If a guy's not open, he'll get it all the way to the basket.
Clock at 5. Here goes the league's MVP. Behind the back, leans inside, swatted out of there by Sam Leck.
In there at the defensive end, even though the Wildcats didn't miss him that much defensively. Let's see if he can assert himself a little bit more this second 20 minutes.
Jones to work immediately. The MVP with an and-1 and a double-digit lead.
As I said, reviewing, you kind of lock them up, and no one does it better than Dylan Jones, and it helps. As I've mentioned before, he's 235 pounds, and when he gets that half step on you, you're in jail then, brother.
A great start with that first possession for Weber State. They are up by 12.
Both teams starting out with a little isolation play. It looks like that one for Jones, and then on the other end for Eddie Turner.
Clock is down to 8. Turner off the glass and in. A much-needed basket here for
Jones now the only double-digit scorer in the game, but as I'd mentioned earlier, Dylan Jones with 5 of the Weber State 8 turnovers.
Plays 3. He's going to back it up. When he's played well, Weber State's been great. And he banks in a 3 to give Weber State their biggest lead at 13.
The 6 made 3. I said in the first half that Coach Duff said they need to make 8 3-point shots to be successful. They're 2 away from that.
He was 26% during conference play. Patterson, a look, and he nails a 3-pointer. Tyler Patterson hit 4 big threes in the win last Monday, 50% over his last 3 games.
He was player of the week early in the season in November after going back-to-back 20-point games where he went 10 of 16 from the 3-point line. Not only is he 6'8" and can shoot it, he's got a very, very high release point on that jump shot.
Alex Chu collecting the loose ball, and the lead is back up to 12.
Alex Chu kind of showing who's the tallest hog at the trough, so to speak, here in this game. When he gets it that close, you might as well go get a hot dog.
Goracke, who was 20% from 3 in the month of February, but starting to heat back up. And it's starting to heat up here tonight at Idaho Central Arena.
And Goracke saying, well, Chu's big dunk is impressive. That's 2. This one counts 3. Goracke just an outstanding jump shot shooter.
Verplanken in rhythm with the response, and back and forth we go here tonight in Boise.
And I said look for this half to kind of open up and a lot more points being scored, and they have done just that.
Walker can shoot the 3 and hits the 3. Walker, 1 made 3 in his last 5 games. Throw out all the 3-point numbers here recently tonight.
What a start to this half after that low-scoring, kind of pedestrian-type first 20 minutes. This has turned into a shootout here in the first 3 minutes.
Chu finds Jones inside. Another and 1 in this second half for the most valuable. No other player in the country leads their conference in points, rebounds, and assists, except for Dylan Jones, who makes that free throw. What a year. What a performance here so far. Jones with 15 points, and the damage he's done so far in this second half, turning some heads. Robert Ford III had a terrific start to this game. Puts on the brakes on the block. Chu was there to help with the double.
See, that's where Alex Chu is so good defensively. Not that he blocks a lot of shots. He had an understanding in the field to go help on that and just put the very smallish Robert Ford in jail there when he showed up on the scene.
3 around the Chu screen. Had him for a moment. Got it to him deep. And a foul before the shot.
Alex Chu has really, like so many, really changed his body since he's been at Weber State. For the better, I should say. I've changed my body too, not so much for the better in the last couple of seasons.
I wasn't going to say anything. Chu blocked right there by Lekalot. Boy, is he.
Back NCAA tournaments, he's had a lot of valuable experience. Never a guy, he's had several starts in his career, but never a starter full-time, but very valuable coming off the bench.
We'll talk about a guy waiting his turn. He had Jabril Bello and Crate Osobor in front of him.
Yes.
They'll make you wait your turn. Walker, power move, left it short. Chu the rebound. Chu had some foul trouble in that first half. We're playing with great rhythm here so far in the second half. Verplanken has it poked away. Turner, the great defense. Ford scoops it in transition. It's a 10-point game.
So smart by Robert Ford, giving away big-time height and inches on that drive to the basket. Simply just led with his body. Didn't hardly even jump off the floor and laid it up.
Jones driving that base. Leaves it for Chu, and the all-defensive player has started to improve greatly on offense.
Well, Dylan Jones just creates such a help situation there. And Alex Chu has learned over the years, just kind of be around, have your hands ready to catch it, and Dylan Jones will get it to you. Dylan Jones is one of the 5 finalists for the Julius Irving Award for the best small college or small forward player in Division I college basketball.
Weber State is led by double digits in this tournament so far. This has been another great edition of that. The Bobcats, who have knocked the Wildcats out of the tournament the last 2 years, and they're hoping to do it a third. Tyler Patterson, another three-pointer for him, his second of the game. He's one of 4 players in program history with 200 or more threes. One of them, his former coach, Danny Sprinkle.
Great read on that screen for that play was meant to go to Patterson, but he read the screen and faded. The Weber State guy defender cheated that. Patterson just took a step back and got himself wide open. And like I say, he's 6'8" with a nice high release on that jump shot. He could shoot that shot in a phone booth, Tony, if he could find one, I guess.
Turner driving the baseline, skips inside on the reverse. Olmstead the board. Patterson again!
Back-to-back threes.
One of those star role players from the Sprinkle era has now made it a 6-point game.
Patterson, a great read on an out-of-bounds play on his first made three. That time created an uncontested passing lane off of that offensive rebound, finding his way to do what he does, and that could be almost three in a row for Tyler Patterson. Tyler Patterson's dad, Gary Patterson, played at Utah State. His mother played at Montana State, so pretty good basketball bloodline.
Wild action back and forth, and the Bobcats able to string together 3 straight stops. They almost had 3 straight scores. Turner leaves it for Olmstead, the hero from Monday night a week ago. A little too strong here. Dylan Jones will try to slow this thing down.
Olmstead went on a run of his own a week ago tonight. He scored like 11 straight points, I think, for the Bobcats when they went on that about 22-2 run to kind of finish the late in the game against the Wildcats.
Verplanken for Cunningham. The clock is down to 5. Steven Verplanken lost it out of bounds. It'll go to the Bobcats, and Montana State's defense.
Montana State was down 9 at halftime, and in the first 5 minutes they shot 71%, 75 from the three-point line, and lost a couple points. They were down 12 now. They've on a little bit of a run due to their defense as much as anything.
What a spark out of that timeout. Great ball movement, terrific defense. Starting to play with some rhythm and feel here. Ford to Goracke, backing down and fading away. And the Montana State Bobcats are on an 8-0 run.
Goracke just doesn't overwhelm you with athleticism. What he overwhelms you with is shooting and basketball high IQ, understanding how to get to his shot, and an outstanding 6'6" jump shot shooter.
Another empty possession for Weber State, scoreless over the last 3 minutes. Robert Ford III comes around the Olmstead screen. Here's Olmstead, shuffled his feet. No, he's bumped and fouled. That's why.
Maybe a little quick on that last jump shot by the Weber for them to cut into this lead. This is a very critical point in the game.
Olmstead skying in, a guy that had 30 points over his last 2 games. He only played 27 minutes in February.
What a nice call from the Montana State bench on that in-out-of-bounds play. And at this point in the year, when you give up a basket on an in-out-of-bounds play, it's almost like it's worth 4 points instead of 2.
The follow-up by Chu, he can't get it. The O-board. Blaze 3 in the trees. Outside Cunningham. And Weber State, how Weber State breaks out of them. It was a 21-2 run a week ago, where Montana State turned an 8-point deficit into a terrific runaway win at the end. The Wildcats now with their season on the line here in the quarterfinals. Dylan Jones is able to get the lead back, and he stops that run.
And that's how they get out of it. They give it to the player of the year in the league, and that's what's called the old give and go. Give me the ball, and The rest of y'all go get out of the way.
Ford blew a tire. Blaze 3 collected the loose ball at travel.
Many times in my life, I've said he's rebuilt this program. It's hard to rebuild a program that's gone to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, but when Danny Sprinkle left, there wasn't a whole lot left in the cupboard, and what he's done to bring so many guys in such a low level of expectation.
Tie this game. They played to double overtime last season. It was Raekwon Battle who was the hero. It was a three-point game when Dylan Jones just barely missed a three at the buzzer that would have tied it a couple of years ago. They're all tied up at 52 apiece with under 10 minutes left to play. Jones playing with tremendous force all night, specifically in this second half. He steps back. Can't get it. Turner the board. Pedal down. Spins at the free throw line. Finds Goracke open for three.
They do that so well, penetrate and pitch it almost behind them. That's almost European type basketball, and Goracke just stepped into that three-point line, and I'm telling you, that ball left his hand soft as a baby's bottom. That had a ton of backspin on it.
Three. Goes inside and cuts it back to one for Blaze 3 tonight. 9 points and 8 rebounds, as you mentioned.
Blaze 3 so big and strong. And you have said many times, and you are exactly correct, when he plays good, the Wildcats play good. 15 double-digit games for him. His career high, 11 rebounds.
Well, Patterson misses this three, but it's going to be Montana State. A 20-4 run. Scalding from the outside, 7 for 10 in this half.
Patterson now his fourth straight double-digit game, his 14th double-digit game of the year. He's been around a long time.
Kohler in rhythm, and Dyson Kohler with his second three-point knockdown cuts it right back to one.
Kind of like a heavyweight fight here, Tony. Who's going to deliver the final blow?
Another great chapter between the series of these two teams recently. Olmsted on the alley-oop! One of the better stories in this conference.
And what a great pass by Eddie Turner III. Going to his left, putting that exactly where Olmsted had to get to it and dunk it. Eddie Turner, 15 assists in his last two games. You can see why now. Boy, that was really a precision pass.
Jones. Great defense, Leck-a-lot. Blaze 3, no, another putback, yes, Chu. It's a timeout for Weber State. We'll try to catch our breath as well.
Let's have three guys in double figures. Patterson with 12, Ford with 12, and Goracke with 16. Tyler Patterson carrying the load offensively this half with 3 of 5 from the three-point line.
Ford bursting in the lane, and the foul! All year and tonight, he completes the three-point play. He has 15. And the Bobcats, who were once down by 13 in the second half, lead by 4.
Boy, he's a tough nut. As I said, they list him at 6 foot. I think that's with his hair. I'd be very surprised if he is 6 foot, but boy, he can play.
What a close defensively by Leck-a-lot, but closed a little too closely.
Boy, blocked the shot, and then Kincheer with 3 or more made threes with a season high 6 made threes at Sac State that they could be playing tomorrow night when he had his season high 30. He started every game since he walked on the Weber State campus.
Chu, a deflection. Weber State, the takeaway. Jones without numbers. 3, couldn't get it. The Blaze 3 already and rescued it with really difficult odds in the late moments.
No, they've won 3 games this year in conference play that were near miraculous. But that's what you have to do when you have a good year. Sometimes you win all those close games, and some years, boy, you can't hardly win one.
Ford
nice job by
paint. Turner launches for 3, and the Bobcats are red hot from the outside. 8 of 11 in the second half.
Nice pass by Ford, who leads them in assists, but that was a terrific shot by the two-guard Eddie Turner.
3 had this one stripped and stolen away. There goes Robert Ford III, the best in the business at taking it away, and he turns it into 2 for a 5-point lead.
He just has such a great feel of leading with that body when he gets to the basket and then finishing the play.
Kohler misfires on the 3. Turner a little shooken up with an ankle and trying to walk that one off. Down the right side of the floor, the Bobcats battling back so hard. Up by 5. With 5.5 left to play.
Weber State needs to stop here in the worst way.
And Montana State. Jones is blocked. Lecolot, another. What a response in this second half. Timeout from the Bruisers of Bozeman, who continue to flex their muscles in the second half tonight.
Just lighting it up from the field right now. Goracke, that was falling down almost into his home bench. What a great release. That kid is a classic jump shot shooter.
They were 3 of 13 in the first half from 3. And this second half, 9 of 12. Just incredible. Then from 3 in February, we mentioned he's starting to heat up quite a bit in that department. And it's been great to see him respond so well offensively recently. He has 19 tonight. He has it in his hands here. Ford splitting defenders. And at this point, with the way they're shooting it, everybody has to be guarded tightly. Loose ball, timeout. Montana State heads up play Ford, but just 1 second on the shot clock.
Yeah, Montana State, Tony, just lighting it up right now. 52% from the field, 48% from the three-point, and they're getting an awful lot of those 50-50 balls. Robert Ford, the third, not just another pretty face.
From the free throw line. Lecolot goes in. Goracke, he's been hot, and it continues.
Wow.
The Bobcats have hit 10 shots in a row.
Very reminiscent of what happened a week ago tonight in Bozeman.
Verplanken can't answer. The run continues. It's at 11-0. The Bobcats in no hurry here as they are up by 11. That is their biggest lead of the night.
Goracke just putting on a show, shooting it in from everywhere on the perimeter.
Ford stops. It's the 13-0 run and a 13-point lead.
Ford, just like he's playing in the gym by himself now, just doing everything for his team.
Jones finally stops the bleeding for Weber State as they're still down by 11.
Jones now with 17, which he's still 3 away from his season average of 20.
Jones attempting the steal. Olmstead gives back to Ford. What a finish! And what a night for the defensive player of the year and the Big Sky guard.
Weber State came out in that 1-3-1, kind of a little trapping type defense there, and the Bobcats obviously did a pretty good job of it.
That'll be the 17th foul against the Wildcats. It'll be 1 and
they both had 7 at halftime. Now Robert Ford has 23 and Goracke with 22, and they've been virtually unstoppable. You add in there Patterson's made threes, and they've been pretty tough at the offensive end.
Another steal and another bucket, and the foul hits Goracke.
A week ago tonight, he's put on a show here tonight, now with 25 points.
He's completed the three-point play. 2 more steals for Ford to match Conway. Plays 3 with the answer and 1, a painful and 1. He has been able to fulfill that.
Well, he's coming out of the game, I think, because Weber State has gone small. So both teams now playing without a big man. Montana State's reason for doing that is to take care of the ball. Weber State, obviously, to try to put some pressure on Montana State, especially at half court. 10 seconds.
So a turnover. Set Weber State up now with a chance to cut into that lead more. They have a big mountain to climb here late. It's Kohler, open for three. It's well short. Goracke the board. Montana State in control. Ford breaks the press. And one. It's Lekelat.
And
Sam Lekelat, who was 57% from three the last month. It was 21% before that. The scouting report changed on him. That's for dang sure with him shooting that well. Dylan Jones short on the three. Jones tonight with 19 points.
But if you can jump up and shoot it in like Goracke and Ford have, a lot of good things are going to happen.
Three, one bounce, reverse. Timeout Weber State.
On a show with that picturesque jump shot he has, and then Robert Ford just kind of cleaning it all up, doing what he does.
Miller harassed in the backcourt. They get it across. They'll be in no hurry here, up by 15. And this will be the 10th team foul against Weber State. Two free.
A lot of ills, Tony. You make 14 straight field goals, you're going to look pretty good, I'm afraid.
17-point game. Jones misfires, Blaze three at the O board. He whips it out in rhythm. Dyson Kohler. He will cut it down to 14. Montana State in no hurry. Even to inbound, they'll let the clock run.
Kohler now his third made three.
Robert Ford the third, crashed into. He'll go back to the line. They'll take these long marches to the free throw line.
That's instant press off.
12. In the early moments of that second half, and you were wondering what they would do out of that timeout, that was as well as they played all season. Blaze 3 and 1. A great night for him. 17.
Weekend, and like you said, it looked like, you know, they were just playing gangbusters, and then all of a sudden they lost a couple close ones and kind of started looking over their shoulder, and they kind of recovered, won 6 in a row, but they were never the same team after they went on that losing 5 out of 6.
And they had 3 games that you could say were given to them, where teams had them on the ropes and they made such great influence on this program.
Dylan Jones, the only player in Big Sky Conference history to score 1,500 points, have 1,000 rebounds, 400 assists, and 200 steals. The Big Sky's been around 61 years, the only player to do that.
Sharanitz hits the three-pointer. It's down to 11, but just 50.8 left to play. Goracke set to inbound, and we'll go to Miller. Miller chased by Docker. He gets it up to Goracke. Sideline pass there to Patterson. Ford has it deflected out of bounds. They'll inbound from the baseline. Montana State, new coach, so many new players. Some of the guys that were remaining had to wait their turn to get a chance out there on the floor. You were curious what they would be during the season. They were 5th. But at their best, you could see that they were a serious threat. They beat every single team that happened to be standing there in front of them in the bracket in terms of seeding, except for one. That was Montana. Miller picks it out. Patterson. Long.
Terrific success at the Division II and the NCAA level. I mentioned earlier, Matt Logan, his 13th year, all he's done is have 11 20-win seasons at Whitworth and at Point Loma. So he's been around the stump a few times. I don't care if you're coaching at a Division I level or Division III level or whatever. When you have 11 20-win seasons, you got it figured out.
Montana State will run it out. The next time the higher seed wins, it'll be the first time.